Hello everybody, and welcome to episode 5 of this series. For those who don't know, this video is part of a collection of videos, so make sure you check out the entire playlist by clicking that card in the top right corner. Otherwise, you may be a bit confused about what's going on. For those who are less confused, welcome back, folks! I'm sure some of you cats out there are having trouble keeping track, so we've died a total of 114 times, crashed 7 times, and have had sex with 8 people. The overall goal for this run was to complete the base game while only having 1 HP. For those who have forgotten, the rules for this run are: number 1, we were not allowed to wear any armor or clothing whatsoever. Number 2, we were not allowed to have any companions. Number 3, we were not allowed to use VATs whatsoever. Number 4, every location in the base game must be found if we could reach them. And number 5, we must have sex with everyone we possibly could. Our goal for this stream was simple. We wanted to have sex with just one person. Now that the goal is set and the rules are clear, let's rock and roll. We started where we last left off, in Vault 21. We made our way up the strip toward Gomorrah. Entering the courtyard, we talked to Joanna, and not only did we complete our goal for this stream, we passed a speech check and leveled up. Here are the stats that we chose, and the perk that we chose was Jury Rig. We then went over to Dazzle to sleep with her, since Cutthroat was going above and beyond her Call of Duty today, folks. We then made our way back to Vault 21 to talk to Carlito so that we could start this quest. So we went back and forth, talking between the two. From what Cutthroat could gather, we slept with someone's girlfriend or something, and now they wanted us to save her from her career as a professional sleeper. Cutthroat did not very well understand, so she would do this quest for the XP and nothing more. After a while of this, we left the strip, helping Joanna escape with the rest of her sleeper agents. It was here that we experienced our first crash of the stream. Loading back in, we went over to deal with those thugs. They all had submachine guns. None of our weapons were bound. Nothing was equipped. We were destined to fail from the start. On our first attempt, we tried the Gatling laser, but with no luck. Unfortunately, we had quick-saved right before the thugs were pulling out their weapons, so we were in a pickle to say the very least. We died over and over again until we finally got one of them with our Gatling laser. We pushed forward and hid behind the bus stop, taking out our terrible shotgun. We made quick and easy work of them. At some point during the firefight, Carlito had died. Rest in peace, mate. Unfortunately, we needed him alive to continue the quest, but we were just happy to be done with this section. And so we went back to Gomorrah and aimlessly wandered around, hoping that we could find a way to start this quest. We found a locked door with a guard out front. We tried to pick the lock blatantly in front of him, but that did not work, so we quick loaded. So then we tried to melee him with a knife, but Cutthroat was ironically a novice at best when it came to contact damage. He took a sawed-off shotgun out and he ended us. So we cut our losses, telling ourselves we'd probably go back there during a quest or something. We found another locked door though, and tried to pick that one and died again. Finally, we came to our senses and accepted reality, and we had left Gomorrah. We went back to the Brotherhood's quests. While walking to one of the Brotherhood scouts, a mole rat jumped us and got us. After that, we loaded back in and found all of the rest of the Brotherhood scouts no problem and turned in that part of the quest. Now, it was time to return to our favoriteest vault ever, Vault 22. We needed to go back there to grab a part for the Brotherhood. We got that part and left the vault, and then we had to go back to Vault 11 to grab another part as well. Turning in all of the parts, we completed the quest, and we were now allowed to enter the Brotherhood safe house. We looted everything from there, left, fast-traveled, and died upon arrival at the Gunrunners. I was absolutely perplexed and confused when this happened. I had no idea why we were dying here. Our rads were absolutely fine. The gun runners is well protected and there's never enemies typically out front, and we were dying immediately upon arrival. Didn't even take a second. So we tried it again to see what would happen, and we died once again. But after that we had figured out that we were addicted to beer and buff out. Since we had just come from the Brotherhood safe house looting everything, we needed those to carry all of the equipment out. So while we were fast traveling, withdrawal would kick in, making us take a bit of damage. And this made addiction extremely dangerous for this run. So we fast traveled bit by bit toward the gun runners, getting our fix of beer and buff out every stop that we made, till we made it to the gun runners and we sold practically everything. Now I know you're supposed to go to a doctor for addiction, but we didn't want to be over encumbered when we left the clinic. With our loot sold and addiction cleared, we made our next goal to get as much rat away as we possibly could. And while doing this, we had crashed. After getting a decent amount of rat away, we foolishly fast traveled directly to the entrance of Vault 34, which the geckos had respawned at. We panicked and shot Thump too close and died. We fast traveled a decent distance away from the vault and walked to the entrance. The cave leading up to the vault was fairly simple since we had the terrible shotgun. We entered the vault and made quick work of the ghouls. We did not have much time here, folks. As our radiation was slowly increasing, we needed to constantly keep an eye on our rads, as if we got minor radiation poisoning, we would take damage and die. On top of that, we needed to keep an eye out for respawning ghouls, because this vault loves to spawn ghouls just behind you as you enter a room. This one was going to be extremely challenging. We turned a corner, a ghoul jumped us, and we died. So taking out that ghoul, 2 more spawned behind us, and we died. Switching from buckshot to slugs, we were able to take care of those 2 ghouls no problem. On to the next room. We killed that ghoul, looted the area, and noticed a load of red ticks appear on our compass. So without thinking, we took out Thump and died from explosive damage. Next we tried going in guns blazing, and we failed. On our next attempt, we took out our Gatling laser and got some of them. Backing up, we took out our marksman rifle, but it wasn't enough. These ghouls were extremely tough, and our marksman rifle needed repairs. Ironic that the reason we were here was to get the special marksman rifle from this game, called All American. Either way, we died 2 more times using this method before we eventually cleared them. In one of the rooms there was a gas leak, and we almost blew ourselves up. Luckily we backed up just in time to avoid the flames. After that we made our way toward the armory, where All American is held. I knew that the door would be locked. I still wanted to clear the area out front though of all of the ghouls before entering. We died before we got them all cleared though. Loading back in, we cleared that area and leveled up. But the armory door was still locked. We would need to go to the overseer's office to unlock it. There was about 3 ghouls behind that armory door waiting for us. We noted that they would be very tricky to kill once we got in. Heading back, we got lost till we found the overseer office door, which was locked. So we had to go back into the underwater section to unlock this door. We pumped the water out and went to explore. Turns out there was an entire other section that we had to clear. Once we cleared them out, we left to go toward the overseer's office. Too bad that they spawned more ghouls right outside of the door to the underwater section. We died twice to these ghouls before we finally conquered them. We cleared the entire area before the overseer's office. Turned out that they spawned some behind us and we died, so we had to clear it all once again, folks. Once we got to the last ghoul, we decided to take a little safety break before taking him out. Turned out that we didn't keep an eye on our radiation while doing this, and we died. Luckily, our sober brain quick saved before we had our safety break, because safety first, folks. We took out that last ghoul, and wouldn't you know it, they spawned more behind us, folks. But this time we were ready, and we were nice and hidden, so they were no problem whatsoever. We were now officially ready to take out the overseer. This ghoul had an insane amount of health, as well as 2 ceiling-mounted machine gun turrets on each side of him. Luckily, the developers had made him stuck at his desk, so he was unable to move, but he was able to spawn more ghouls once his health got low enough. So our tactic here was to shoot at him from a safe distance with the anti-material rifle loaded with explosive rounds, which did wonders to the turrets, but it also knocked him free from his desk and he started moving toward us. We ran all the way back through the vault, which was actually extremely beneficial, since when he spawned more ghouls, they would now be ahead of us instead of behind us. We took him out with the terrible shotgun and snuck past the remaining ghouls into the overseer's office. We were so stressed out, adrenaline pumping, but we were so happy. We completely forgot about rads and we died. We were extremely lucky though, as we quick saved just as we snuck past the ghouls, so we were completely fine and didn't have to kill the overseer again. We had a problem though. We were completely out of shotgun rounds at this point and still had part of the vault to explore, where we decide the fate of the remaining tenants. After you decide, they spawn 2 glowing ones behind you. We tried out the Tesla cannon and we failed and died. Next, we tried using the Gatling laser, and we almost didn't clear them, but we got a stagger on one right before we had to reload. Our next and final goal was the armory, folks. On our first attempt, we tried a frontal assault with alien weapons, but they had way too much health to not take out using cheese. So we tried to bring them out into the hallway using explosive rounds, and while patiently waiting for them to make a move, we died from radiation poisoning. We used a similar tactic, but instead of using the entire hallway, we shot directly into that room. I knew that this was going to send the weapon into a corner somewhere, but I figured we could find All-American eventually. We used so many shots, but eventually took every one of them out. We searched high and low for All-American, but we could not find the weapon anywhere. We died from radiation while searching. About 30 seconds after we respawned, we found the rifle behind a crate. At this point, we had about 24 rad away to get out of the vault, which would be plenty, finishing this cursed hole in the ground for good. We then made our way over to Camp Forlorn Hope, starting their quest to gain some experience and NCR rep. The first part of this quest was going to be extremely tricky. We pretty much had to get ambush and escape without killing anyone, because we did not want to lose any Legion reputation. So our goal was simple. We were to go and retrieve the thingy and not get got by or get the got-getters. Now that we're all on the same page, we looted the crate and we ran, and we were looking so clear till one of them shot at us with a gun and we died. So we loaded back in and looted the crate once again, and we died a whole lot faster this time. Before we looted the crate, we checked our inventory and saw that we had a stealth boy available, so we dropped that right before we looted. And honestly, truthfully, I don't think this part could be done without a stealth boy, folks, but I'm sure someone out there has done it at some point, sometime, somehow. I'm sure having a companion might help, as they could take some of the heat off, but we were not allowed to, folks, as Cutthroat was considered part of the toxic brood. We made it back to camp in one piece, and we turned in that quest and started the other quest, making our way across the Mojave to different ranger stations. While heading from Novac to Ranger Station Echo, we died, and I actually have no idea what killed us, only speculation. The reason I say this is because once we were back, we took the exact same route to figure out what had killed us. We came across some vipers. Most of them had melee though, so I feel like I would have seen them coming or heard them. And then we came across bloatflies right in the same area, so it could have been either of them, folks. Either way, we took out the gang members and snuck past the bloatflies. After going around the entire Mojave to each ranger station, we went to Chief Hanlon to complete this quest, and it was at this point the game had decided to crash. After booting the game back up, we then made our way to Cottonwood Cove, just to chat, for the experience and rep. No, but in all seriousness, Cutthroat was going to be a professional fence rider this run. We did not want the Legion or NCR mad at us, as then they would send hit squads at us, and that would not be fun to deal with 1 HP. So we were going to Cottonwood Cove just to turn in some NCR dog tags, so that we could get our reputation up with the Legion without making the NCR angry. Once we dropped all of those off, we decided to end the stream there. In summary, we died a total of 30 times this stream, which wasn't so bad compared to the last episode. The real killer for us was the amount of crashes that we got, totaling in at 3 crashes. And since we only had sex with 2 people, this meant that the crash counter and the sex counter were now tied. This run was really starting to come together though. We were getting better gear and getting smarter with every encounter. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below to subscribe to my YouTube and of course to follow my Twitch. Also, please don't forget to leave a comment down below about what you think of this run so far. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say and think. Unfortunately, we have stopped doing the New Vegas Monday streams for now, folks. At least till we get these runs out on YouTube. Otherwise, we play a ton of Crossout on Twitch, which is always tons of fun, so make sure you tune in. And also, if you feel like supporting this channel in a more direct way, please consider becoming a Patreon subscriber on my Patreon page. We have the link down in the description. Patreon subscribers get tons of perks like early access to videos, plus special access to commands while I'm streaming. One day, I'd love to be able to make content for you fine folks full time, so every little bit helps me reach my dreams, as well as helped me find the time to make these videos and stream. Thank you all so much for watching and supporting, and I hope to see you all in the next stream or in the comment section down below. A special thanks goes out to tobirevblackfire for sharing his talents, the folks over at efap for motivation, the Mitton squad for inspiration, coffeeuana and his wife for being absolutely amazing, and every one of you Twitch and Patreon subscribers, you guys are absolutely the best. Thank you all so much for watching, and peace out!